As the project has grown, the number of tasks has also grown. One of the most important is to ensure that those who are prescribed ARV therapy correctly adhere to the drug regimen. This is critical to make sure that the virus doesn't develop drug resistance. ReachOut has created an innovative program for community ARV and TB treatment support, or CATS.
And it's good that you always boil your water for drinking.
Yes, please.
The CATs are clients themselves who are taking either TB drugs or who have ever taken TB drugs and ARVs. So they go to the clients' homes, they monitor them, they visit them. They see how they're taking their drugs, they count their pills in their homes, they check on how they're marking their ARV cards or TB cards, and they assess their general home for any social needs if a client has any.
So now it's around 3. So there's improvement.
Yes, please.
In fact, we could call them like adherence counselors. They're just there to make sure these people take really their drugs the way they're supposed to take them.
Morning and everything.
Concern about breeding resistance has been used by some as a justification for delaying free access to ARV drugs.
Take the whole of
The big spectre of worry is that drugs are given out, compliance or adherence to those therapies is not maintained, and we will then have an epidemic of drug-resistant virus. And that enormous concern drives us to have compliance or adherence strategies which are sustainable.
The experience from ReachOut is important in evaluating this concern.
We are treatment supporters. We help clients take their medication well. But we tell them, because we've also had the same problems before, but we overcame them. So we tell them, we encourage them to continue taking the drugs, so after some time, they get used to the drugs.
And we have produced an adherence of 99%. It's just that people need some more extra support to do the taking of the drugs. It's not that an issue of you give them the drugs and they go with them in their homes. These are new drugs, they have a lot of reactions, and they have a lot of things attached to them. So if you give the drugs in the right way with an holistic package, I'm sure everyone is able of taking those drugs. And we have proved it.
This is not going unnoticed.
The experience of Mbuya ReachOut, for instance, is that compliance adherence is very high. And why? Because those drugs are being delivered at home by family and people affected with HIV themselves, who are passionate about their mission. And they are prepared to spend a lot of time, much longer than the medical profession can afford to or available to spend. So I would say that's a good example of how that particular program is teaching us a lot.
That is one household.
One aspect of comprehensive care that is especially welcome is food supplied by the World Food Program.
When I joined, I was only 45 kilos, but now I can weigh 70 kilos just because of the good work World Food Program is doing for us. They're giving us food. I could not afford to cater for my family of 10 people, but since World Food Program is giving us food, that now I'm able to feed my family.
Research into the role of nutrition in relationship to the delivery of antiretroviral medications and drugs for treating tuberculosis is ongoing. But experience suggests that adequate food is crucial for overcoming side effects of what are, after all, extremely strong medicines, and is also important for addressing the adherence question.
What motivates me to take my drugs promptly is just because of the food that World Food Program is giving me. Since ARV and drugs needs a lot of food, now since they are the one giving me food, they're supplying me with food, I can take my drugs promptly because there's the assurance of food.
The new availability of ARVs is changing the way people are thinking about themselves, their lives, their responsibilities.
The first thing, I just thank God of giving me that courage of being strong. And in fact, that's what I always tell my fellow clients. I always tell them that we have so many things to do. We can't think that we are going to die tomorrow. No, we have so many things to do. We have relatives, friends, we have children, we have orphans to care about.
The people whose lives have been saved by ARVs are not just sitting at home looking for handouts, but are economically productive, that their children are able to grow up in an environment of love and care, surrounded by their parents.
For patients with a new lease on life, jobs are very important, providing an income, respect, and self-confidence.
I'm a translator at the clinic. I work with the doctors and the nurses. For those who come from the north, many of them doesn't know English well, so I do help them in translating. I can translate 4 languages, Kiswahili, English, and the Luo, and a bit of Luganda.
So I worked with Friends for Life for 1 month, and they appointed me to be the head of Adult Literacy Department in July. So I'm really very happy. I feel my profession is at work.
But when you went there,
C, letter C, this one. Write again and again, write many times. Units are changed, units are changed, units are changed.
And some clients are reaching for even higher ambitions.
My name is Joy Nanyunja. I'm the head of Microfinance Department, and namely Bread of Life. And this department gives loans to our clients and volunteers to enable them start up small businesses or even expand on those that have been existing already to make them self-sustainable.
When people get sick, they are especially burdened if they can no longer care for their children. They know that their children's future depends on education, but sometimes they can't afford to pay the school fees, forcing the children to leave school.
My daughter, she's called Diana Aqueo, and I'm really very happy for what really they are doing for me, because I could not afford to pay that daughter to school, but at least now they have taken her.
The Reach Out program at Mbuya has been fearless in acting to address all the issues facing their clients. Access to antiretrovirals are an important new component, but the basic human dignity with which the project treats clients and volunteers alike is what makes the program so special.